picture. Hey, hello. I know it's been a while since we made a video. Today, Jasmine and I, JR, is in JR Reviews. Today we're going to be reviewing the 2008 film, The Duchess.
Oh, it came out in 2008?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it came out recently.
Oh,
That's what I thought.
well, and it starring Keira Knightley, Ralph Fiennes, Haley Atwell, and Dominic Cooper. And it's based on the life of Georgina.
Georgina.
Yeah, you think it would be pronounced Georgiana, but for some reason they pronounced it Georgina, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it sounds awkward.
Yeah, and she was the Duchess of Devonshire, and the Dukes of Devonshire are one of the most wealthy and highest-ranking nobles in the English aristocracy.
Yeah.
So she married the Duke of Devonshire, and marrying him pretty much became like a celebrity. And she was a very important figure in late 18th century English society. She was known for being very beautiful, and everyone copied the way she dressed, and she was involved with politics, like she did campaigning for some politicians. And so she was pretty much like tabloid fodder.
Yeah.
And one of the weirdest things about her life was her best friend, whose name was Bess Foster, was actually became the mistress of her husband, the Duke. So the three of them lived together in this really weird threesome. And I think the movie gives the impression that I don't know much about Georgiana Devonshire's life.
I'm surprised with that.
I don't know much about it, but I do have a book. I do have a book biography about her, which I have not read yet because it's in the big pile of books that I get to read. I have yet to read. So I don't know how old she was when she died, but the movie gives the impression that she died fairly young.
A lot of people in those days died really young.
Yeah, because there was like illness and...
Yeah, but now we have like advanced medicine and all
yeah,
that. So.
but like Lady Bess Foster eventually after Georgiana's death became the next Duchess of Devonshire. So she married the Duke. So her best friend, who was also the mistress of her husband, married her husband after she died. And the movie is starring Keira Knightley.
Yeah.
Which I could go into a whole rant about Keira Knightley, because she's an actress who I've never really gotten the appeal of. And
I never heard of her.
well, she's not terrible in this movie, but one of the biggest criticisms I hear about her is that she's so often put in period films, and she does not look like a person from the past.
Oh yeah.
She doesn't look right in periods because not saying that there weren't like super skinny people back in the past. In fact, like probably most people were super skinny because they weren't getting, because like standards of beauty have done a complete 180 since they would have been in the 18th century. because back then a lot of people were not as well fed as they are today.
Yeah, and back then they didn't have McDonald's.
Yeah, they didn't have food.
And I assume they don't have like McDoritos.
No, they do not. And so the standard of beauty back then was to be on the plump side.
In that case, what was back then? I'm not being beautiful.
No, you would not. And she's my token skinny friend. So that gives me carte blanche to talk shit about skinny people. So
thanks.
Yes. Sorry, but I'm going. But like, and so like, and Keira Knightley is very thin. So they would have thought she looked like a starving. She would have looked. No offense to Keira Knightley, I'm sure you're a nice person, but if you were actually in the 18th century, they would have thought you looked like a starving boy.
Yeah, they would probably think I'll be like an orphan, bastard, starving girl.
Yeah, and
not to insult myself.
Well, that's my job.
Stop.
Sorry, Jasmine. This is our teasing Jasmine video.
Okay, can you stop now? I know everybody likes to tease me.
Well, it's my channel. I can do what I want. And
yeah, you really should be on my channel so I can have just a pick on you.
Yeah. She also has a channel. What's the name of your channel?
Jazz Dyer 180.
Yeah, Jazz Dyer 180. And so like. And I don't know, and so like the standards of beauty, and like nowadays everyone's fat because of fast food and stuff like that.
Yep.
So the standard of beauty is to be very thin. And so like Keira Knightley is considered beautiful now, but she wouldn't be considered beautiful back in the 18th century. Yeah, so like and I don't know, and I just never really got the appeal of Keira Knightley because she just seems to stand there being pouty. Like she's not very compelling. She's not a very compelling person to watch on the screen. But the film itself you think would be very interesting because there's the whole menage a trois threesome relationship with Georgiana, the Duke, and Bess. And Georgiana also has an affair with a young politician named Charles Grey, who eventually becomes prime minister. And she has an illegitimate child from this affair. And you think this movie would be very interesting, and there are some very good parts, but it's mostly kind of a dull movie.
Yeah.
The pacing is very slow.
I mean, I really liked this because it's based on a true story, and then there's words at the end, which I mean, like reading the words.
Yeah, there's kind of like words at the end that says what happens to everyone.
Yeah, but it's like it was kind of slow, and I was bored.
Yeah, like we had to. It took us like we had to watch it in 3 separate increments.
Well, that's because we didn't have time.
Yeah, it was mostly time. But like the costumes are beautiful. It's one of those movies that's like very pretty to look at, but not much happens.
Yeah.
Cause like I love this, and because Georgiana Devonshire was very well known for her fashion and stuff. She was sort of a fashion icon. And there's a line in the beginning where there's a line in the beginning that I've always really loved. In the beginning, Duke is undressing Georgiana on their wedding night, and he says something like, "Why is women's clothing so complicated and elaborate?" And she says, it's just our way of expressing ourselves. You have so many ways of expressing yourself, whereas we have to make do with our hats and our dresses.
Yeah.
Because obviously in the 18th century, most women couldn't vote, couldn't have a career on their own. They might have to work to support their family, but they couldn't pursue a career the way a man could. And especially if you were a noble upper class woman like Georgiana, the only really say that you would have in your life was what was your clothes.
Yeah. It's even when having a family, you really don't have any say in having that either, because it's your job as a woman back in those days to get pregnant and stay home with the kids.
Yeah, if you were Duchess, you had to produce the next Duke, which is a theme in the movie because it takes her a while to produce a son.
Yep.
And
well, just because he didn't like her, right?
Well, they were very different.
Yeah.
She was very outgoing, whereas he was more stoical and reserved, and it was just generally an unhappy marriage.
Yeah.
So if you like 18th century fashion stuff, I would recommend it, but it's not a terrible movie. It's just a bit dull.
Yeah.
But it's very pretty to look at.
Yeah.
And those are our thoughts on The Duchess, starring Keira Knightley.